Hello everyone, I hope everything's going absolutely amazing. Today I actually sold out of Dave & Buster's stock, so I'm going to talk a little bit about that. I'm also going to talk about where I see myself going over the next about month with investing, and then time after that, depending on if school starts back up again or not. That's all what it's dependent on. So let's get into it. I had bought around 660 shares of Dave & Buster's stock, ticker symbol PLAY, at about $12.91. Today, I sold all 660 shares at around $13.66. So I sold right there in this time. It was about 1:07 p.m. Eastern Time on July the 29th. It went on to hit about 7 cents higher than that. I'm not really worried. I got a 5.8% profit, or nearly $500. It's about $4.95. So that was amazing too. And I sold because I felt the stock was most likely going to start to have a pullback and possibly have a pullback tomorrow and into the rest of the day. If we don't see that, I wouldn't necessarily be surprised. Everything's so just everywhere that it wouldn't really surprise me in either direction. But with that uncertainty, I felt better that I sold at $13.66 today. You can actually see right where I sold, it then sold off by about 1.5%. Again, it's at $13.68 right now. So it is a little higher than where I sold. I'm not really worried about it. I made about 5.8% over a 23-day period. It's pretty good. We're going to move on, move into the next thing, look at where I can go from here. But let's take a quick look at where I think Dave & Buster's stock could go from here. So the other day it did have this big, massive run up. It was about 18%, I think, that day in that area, 20% maybe. And you can see the RSI started getting a little high. I didn't sell out. I said I'm going to hold on to it. That is where I should have sold out. Right around the $13.80 area is where I should have realized and sold out. So that is exactly why I sold out today. Stock went up quite a bit. I felt it was a good time to sell. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if this momentum continues or if we see another pullback, but I think midterm being the next month and a half, we'll start seeing a higher push up into the $15, $16 range. So a little above where it's trading right now. Again, maybe I'll day trade, maybe I'll swing trade, maybe I'll move on. But let's take a quick look at what I'm thinking about looking at. So this is the silver ETF. I myself actually have 53 ounces of silver right in that area in physical silver. And so silver's right around $24, I think, maybe a little lower than that. But it's interesting because we're starting to see this big run up in silver. And typically when silver starts to have a big run up, it runs up for a long time. So we're going to take a quick look at the past, I'd say, however long this goes back. Yep, here we go. So you can see silver started running up from this low back around 2008. It bottomed along with a lot of the other stuff, bottomed slightly before, and that's nearly exactly what we saw over here, but it bottomed around the same time. And then you can see silver has this massive run up, and it runs up nearly 450%. So let's take a look at how much it's run up so far from this bottom. We're looking at around 100%. So to get to that 400% area, be almost $60. I'm not saying that's exactly how high it's going to go, but as we can see from back here, when silver starts to get going, it really starts to get going. Again, this is just the silver ETF. This is not the actual price of silver itself, but this tracks it pretty closely. I've only got until about 2005 on this chart. And you can find charts of silver that go back further. Let's see how big this gain for silver was. Right around 100%. So I think if silver has a pullback, I may end up buying this ETF. Again, it all depends on how the entire market in general goes, how stimulus talks go, how all of that goes. But this is something I will be watching extremely closely, is this silver ETF right here. I know because I've talked about it a lot, you guys will probably want to see me talk about it. This is Genius Brand stock. Let me go into a smaller, well, more zoomed in chart. Oh, that chart's probably, yeah, it doesn't like that much. Let me change this real quick. There we go. So Genius Brands did run up a lot. It went from about 20 cents to $11.73, which is just absolutely insane and pretty much unheard of. Almost 5,000% gain. Yeah, that's just insane. But we can see here, it started to just start dripping down. And it's interesting because this company's got it had a lot of people talking about it, and it had insane trading volumes. I think there were a few days where it had a lot more trading volume than it had ever had combined, pretty much. Like, look at that one day. 380 million shares exchanged hands. I don't think the stock even has 100 million shares trading, probably not even 50 million shares trading. So lots of days it trades more shares than are actually in the stock. So the stock still gets traded around a lot, but it's mostly been sell. So I think I'm going to start moving away from Genius Brands as much as possible. I don't really like this stock even for day trading or swing trading anymore. I know I've made money on it in the past, but I cannot see myself getting into this stock again unless we start to see a nice bottom. But other than that, yep, I'm out. Dave & Buster's is probably going to be the play, whether it's swing trading or day trading. Tomorrow I'll have a video up. It'll probably be short, probably less than 5 minutes even, talking about what my school's doing in regards to going back to school, and that will decide what type of trading I do. So just before we get to the end of this video, leave a like and subscribe, and let's go take a look at a couple more things. Tesla, we all love Tesla, up nearly 3% today, still hovering around that $1,500 range. Just interesting stock to keep watch. I don't think I'll ever get into Tesla again unless it's through some sort of like S&P 500 ETF or something like that. I do not think I'll be getting into Tesla again. Just too expensive, nearly an 800 price to earnings ratio, which is a lot. Again, when it was in the $200 range, it didn't even have good earnings, but I bought it because it was a nice growth company, and now we reached that $800 area. That's just a no for me. One thing is, I'll talk more about tomorrow if my school goes back or not though, is the TQ's ETF. this is most likely what we'll be looking at if my school goes back, and it sounds like it's going to be a rough year with lots of stuff to do. If it sounds like I'm going back, but it'll be slightly relaxed year, I will actually most likely swing trade this ETF, because its swing trades are good and it's safe that if a swing trade goes wrong in the couple months out from that swing trade going wrong, I will most likely be profitable again. We most likely will not see another market crash like this past one for years. So that's why I think I'm going to keep trading, or I'm going to start trading TQs. I think it's going to be good for me. It'll be something more relaxed to trade with really good earnings for me. If you don't know what TQs is, it's a 3 times leveraged NASDAQ ETF basically. And this is where I'm going to end this video. So if you liked it, leave a like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Have a good day and happy investing.